Hello, everybody. My name is Jacqueline Jayne, your cybersecurity expert and online safety specialist. I'm on a mission to reduce human risk in the world of cyber and help 1 million people stay safe online. Welcome to the very first episode of Scam News Desk. I'm sure this will change over time. Very first time I've done this. Let's see how we go. Now, you can connect with me over on LinkedIn as well as go check out my website and also connect with peeps and geeks across social media, whether that be TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. What I'd like to do with this series of Scam News Desk is to take you through some of the common scams that I'm seeing. There are so many that we see every single day, and whilst the majority of these might start with here in Australia, please rest assured that you'll be able to apply these things no matter where you are in the world, because cyber criminals and scammers really don't care where you are. And the scams that we see here, you've probably already seen where you're joining me from today, or you're going to see them very soon. Cyber criminals and scammers, or hackers, whatever you'd like to call them, they refer to their playbook all the time, bring things out, update things, just to keep us on our toes, I suppose, because the more they do that, the more chance they are to actually get us to become their latest victim. Let's start with scammers impersonating banks in text messages, phone calls, and emails. This is from a really cool site here in Australia where you can have a look at the different types of scams, how to stay protected, report a scam, a whole lot of research and resources, and more. With this particular scam, it's about impersonating banks in text messages, phone calls, and emails. Before we move on, I just want to talk to you a little bit about these three particular type of scams. Emails, malicious emails, we call them in the industry phishing emails. Phone calls that are malicious, we call Vishing calls, the voice version of phishing. Not easy to say. And text messages, we know them as SMS. We refer to them as Smishing. These Smishing, Vishing, and phishing elements of cybersecurity are all ways that we need to be aware of fake information and nasty things in this form of communication. This particular scam, let's have a look at what it's all about. So there's a rise in criminals calling, emailing, or messaging people and pretending to be from their bank so that they can steal your money. Scammers ask you for personal or financial information, or even to transfer some funds or give them a one-time security code over the phone. They often claim to be from the bank's fraud department and might say that there has been a compromised account or some suspicious activity on your account itself. Let me just get my mouse back to where it needs to be. Thank you very much. Let's continue. They might use technology to make it look like the call is coming from the bank's phone itself, and they may also send a message that looks like it's coming from the same conversation thread as a genuine bank message. This is because technology has grown over the years, become so much more sophisticated. And you know, when you have a message that comes in from a friend of yours that is on your device, and it might say call from JJ. Now, cyber criminals can actually use that to pretend to make a call to you, so it looks like it's coming from me. It's really scary, so you need to be aware of it. This is how to spot this particular scam. You may get a call, message, or email from the scammer claiming to be from the bank and asking for personal information or bank details. The scammer may tell you there's a problem on your account and ask you to transfer money, or you got to keep it safe. You know, they're there to help you and protect you. They may say it's an urgent problem and you need to respond straight away. Otherwise, your account could be taken over by cyber criminals, even though it's a cyber criminal calling you. Anyway, let's have a look. So what you can do is don't use any phone numbers in a message. Ask for a reference number and contact your bank directly through the phone number that you find on their official communication, whether that be website or something in your phone with a real number. And if you're in doubt, always go find something new that is official. Don't rely on the information that the potential scammer is telling you. Something else to consider, and this has happened to me, I've received a phone call from my bank and it came in as no caller ID. And after I had spoken to them, I said, look, I really don't answer no caller ID. It was just by chance I did that day because I need to know who the phone call is from. Otherwise, I don't answer it. But what they have done is made some changes within their bank to enable people to know where it's actually from and more layers of authentication to secure and make sure that they're actually who they say they are. Even then, anything incoming, take a breath and stop and think before you engage with it. Then let's move on. So hang up if you receive a call from someone claiming to be from your bank requesting you transfer money. You can politely hang up too. It's not always easy for people just to hang up on the phone because you think, well, what if I actually want to talk to this person? Politely say, look, thank you very much. I'm going to call back the bank directly. Have a nice day. Goodbye. Or as I do, you just say thank you and then hang up. Also, don't click on any links in an email message or on your phone, even if it looks like it comes from your bank. When it comes to malicious text messages, SMSs, what I say to everybody, and I follow this myself, I don't click on any links in an SMS ever, ever, full stop, ever, never. Don't do it. It's just the safest way to go. When you look through this and how the scam actually works, everything looks legitimate and it looks real. So you need to make sure what your bank will do and have information about your bank ready and handy in case you need to contact them. And yes, you can find out more about these scams and other scams on the ScamWatch site. And of course, follow the Peeps and Geeks sites wherever you may be, and make sure that you're following here too. So this is called an impersonation scam. All right, let's move on to the next one that I have found to share with you all. And that is if you're in the aged care system. This is an Australian government website, Department of Health and Aged Care, and they're letting people know of a aged care scam that is going around where scammers are targeting older people and their families by impersonating aged care providers. So it's pretty nasty when you think about it. If you are dealing with an aged care provider or you are dealing with someone who is 65 years and older, maybe 60 years or older, you know the people in your world who may or may not be aware of these impersonation scams and the fact that there are some pretty nasty people out there pretending to help you, and they sound real, they sound legitimate, they have information to confirm who you are. Of course, being trusting, you want to believe that that's actually real. In this particular situation, I encourage you all to speak to anybody in your world that might be dealing with aged care and let them know that these scams are actually on the rise and they need to be aware of it. There's no specific details here other than the exact same advice as we saw before. Always stop and check the person is genuine before you click on links or share personal information or send money. It's the same thing, rinse and repeat when it comes to how to avoid these particular scams. Okay, the next one we're looking at is something new that Meta has done. They are testing, let me just scroll up, facial recognition, which is to combat the relentless celebrity endorsement scams. If you are on social media, you would have seen these. Now, this is talking globally, but here in Australia, I can say that yes, we get a whole lot of these ads on social media, which we see someone who we know or think, yes, they're a celebrity, so whatever they're telling me must be true, when it actually isn't. So what does that mean for you? Well, let's have a look at it. In short, Meta is trialing facial recognitions to monitor Facebook and Instagram for celebrity endorsement scams, which will initially focus on 50,000 celebrities worldwide. It also is introducing facial recognition based on identity verification for recovery for all users. On that, if you've ever experienced losing your Facebook or Instagram account, it is really quite challenging to get that back, sometimes near impossible. So this new technology or revamped technology very well may help all of us be able to recover an account should it be hacked or taken over, and also helping protect us against these celebrity scams. So what that means is the scandals that we see, the clickbait that we see, the fake ads on social media, there will be ways to actually make sure that we don't see as many of these and that they're stopped. There's been a whole lot of information here. I'm sure you've probably seen it where you're from as well. People have lost millions of dollars because they believe this product, this investment, or this information that is being shared by a celebrity you're familiar with, you're going to more likely engage with it. And that's a problem because these celebrities have nothing to do with these scams. But in the day and age of AI, as we are now, and have been for a while, but it's increasing in its sophistication every day, it's getting so much harder to spot whether these are real or not. In the sense of any scams that may come across on social media, particularly Facebook and Instagram, just be aware that cyber criminals really do know what they're doing, and what they present to you looks absolutely real. Okay, what do we have next? We have Extortion. This is not nice. This is an urgent warning after vile extortion scam targets hundreds of Australians. And again, even though this is from an Australian news, I can tell you that you will be experiencing this too wherever you're from. So let's take a look. Australians have urged to stay vigilant as hundreds of people have been targeted in a bulk extortion email campaign. This is what we call phishing. In the last week, ScamWatch, that governing body, the first website that I shared with you, received hundreds of reports of Australians being targeted by cyber criminals who claim they've hacked the person's computer and accessed compromising images and videos of them. Not nice. The scammer will threaten to release the images or videos to friends and family if they're not paid a certain amount of money in cryptocurrency to a specific address. However, it can be confirmed that there isn't any evidence the scammer has hacked the person's computer or webcam. And here's what they look like. Let me just jump over and show you. This is the type of message and what it looks like, and you might receive something like this. They're pretty scary. If you look closely, though, you can see that the grammar and the language is not that great. Whilst that's a red flag, it doesn't necessarily mean it will stop you having a physical response of being a bit concerned and a bit scared that this actually might be real. So the other example on the page is how they ask you to transfer the money so that they don't release this information. These scams are everywhere. This isn't the first time we've seen them. There just seems to be ebbs and flows of when cyber criminals bring these things back and retry them again with a whole lot of people. The criminal may try to convince the person to send over money by providing their personal details of the recipients. Within that email you get, the cyber criminal might say things to you like, this is your date of birth, isn't it? Or this is your last address, or this is your email, or this is your phone number, your mobile. Take a breath and think of how much information is actually out there on the internet about you that you freely shared or that's available right now to go have a look. If you have a LinkedIn profile, there's a whole lot of information available there. And anything you've entered into, the social media that you currently have, if you haven't locked it down from a privacy setting point of view, it's so easy to get that information. We call it scraping in the industry. What it means is if anything's available, like everything you see on this website, you can scrape that information and put it somewhere else because it's freely available. So keep that in mind. Just because someone says they've got some personal details of yours doesn't mean that they're actually going to do anything with them, because that information's already out there on the internet. So the ACCC, the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, said that while Australians and you should always stay vigilant about scams, people need to be especially alert to this emerging trend. We're seeing more of it, so pay attention. These fictional threats in these emails, combined with the inclusion of people's personal data, are intended to terrify the individual reading it. And that is so true. It is extortion and it is a crime. So what do you do if this actually happens to you? Well, here in Australia, you can contact the National Anti-Scam Centre, and we also have ID Care to help if someone's identification is actually stolen and you're not sure what to do. And I'll also include links in the description of where you can go to find help. And I'm sure you could do some searching in your favourite search engine of where to go, where you are, to get help should you need it and find your identity has been stolen or you've fallen victim to a scam. And if there's anything particular you would like to share with me for me to add on to resources in the future, please feel free to do so in the comments. Okay. Something I'd like to show you before we go, and many of you have probably seen it, so let me just switch over to the Have I Been Pwned website. The what? This website is awesome, and I'll tell you why. You can check if your email address has been part of a data breach. Any current and past data breaches, all that information is recorded. A gentleman named Troy Hunt, I'll also probably put his information at the bottom as well, created this website called Have I Been Pwned. What it means is you put your email address in and check to see if it actually has been part of a data breach. If it has, it will also tell you what information was taken part of that data breach. One thing I will say though, be careful when you do this, because you more than likely will find your email is actually part of a current or past data breach. And what do you do in that case? Well, if you are applying some good cyber hygiene protocol in your world, it's actually okay, which means managing your passwords correctly and doing a whole lot of other things that I will cover in due course. But if you haven't, it can be pretty scary to think, oh my goodness, I had no idea that this information had been stolen or taken in a data breach. So these are the things that we need to be aware of. So have a check out for that. And yes, don't freak out when you find your information there. We're going to wrap up our first episode of Scam News Desk. I do hope that it has been useful for you. You never quite know these days what people want to know. So if there's anything specific you would like from me to help you stay safe online, whether it's you personally or even whether it's for your kids, if you're a parent or carer, so many questions, even should my kid play Minecraft. I'm Jacqueline Jayne, your cybersecurity expert and online safety specialist. I'm on a mission to reduce human risk in the world of cyber and help 1 million people to stay safe online. You can connect with me across social media. I encourage you to do so. You'll get the most out of this if you tell me how I can help you. Thank you for being here for episode 1. I really do appreciate it. Until next time, my friends, bye for now.